So it is so hot out here. So the time that you have carved to join us is really, really well appreciated, as well as the time that Dr. Hector has prepared to be able to deliver us golden information about us practitioners and what we need to accomplish. I do appreciate the music. The music is a reflection of tranquility, and we need that at that time because the wavelength helps calm our brains down, which brings us to this important topic that we have. After much brainstorming, Dr. Hector has we have decided to learn go back into the real basic ones, because without the foundations of the basic, it would be easy for us to lose our track. So with our presentation this evening, it's Jing Qi or Qi Shen. So which means really the essence, the breath, and the human spirit, which is Jing means the essence, Qi means the breath of energy, and then Shen is the divine or human spirit. Others may refer to this as universal healing. Other variants commonly used is Qi Jing Shen or Shen Qi Jing. So it really dates back all the way even to the second century before Christ. So with this, any bodily form is the residence of life. So any disturbance in the Qi, any disturbance reflects to the Shen and also affects the spirit. So without much further ado, I would like to hand the floor to Dr. Hector in his, LAMP lecture series. We are very excited, and so here we go. Dr. Hector, we cannot hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So it's good to hear that you found time to actually join us. And we hope that we can improve all the three treasures, and because we all know that they are all interrelated. So let's start with the lecture. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lamp Lecture Series, this time featuring the three treasures. In Chinese medical theory, there are three things that are essential to sustaining human life: Jing, Qi, and Shen. They are called the three treasures, and each one contributes to the overall health and well-being of the body. The first treasure is called Jing, which is translated as essence. Essence is seen as the basis of growth, development, and reproduction. One subtype of essence, congenital essence, is inherited from your parents and is necessary for fetal and childhood development. The concept of Jing has strong parallels to genes. Although the ancient Chinese did not possess the technology to identify DNA, they recognized that an important substance was passed from parent to child, and that issues with this substance could cause serious issues with growth, reproduction, and development. The second treasure is called Qi. This is a word that you've probably heard before, vaguely translated as energy or life force. So what exactly is Qi? Biomedicine does not recognize Qi as a substance of the body, and yet it is key to Chinese medicine. Qi is the vital energy of the body. In the classics of Chinese medicine, it is said that human life depends upon Qi, and that when Qi gathers, the physical body is formed. When it disperses, the body dies. In other words, Qi is what makes a difference between a cow and a raw steak behind the glass at the butcher's counter. As with any other substance in the body, Qi has specific functions. It is the source of all movement in the body. It warms the body to maintain a normal temperature. It defends the body against pathogens. It transforms food into useful substances in the body, and it helps to hold things in their proper places. For example, it keeps organs from prolapsing and contains blood in the vessels. The category of qi in the three treasures also includes two other vital substances, blood and body fluids. Blood and body fluids are included in the category of qi because they cannot form without the transformative actions of qi. Blood is seen as a major yin substance in the body, and its main function is nourishing the body. Body fluids encompass all fluids in the human body, from sweat to tears to lymphatic and synovial fluid. The final treasure, Shen, is translated as spirit or mind. The Shen is responsible for consciousness, cognition, emotional life, and our presence. The Shen is responsible for things like thinking, planning, and feeling. It is considered a yang entity that is rooted in a yin substance, the blood. While in biomedicine, the body and the spirit are often considered to be separate entities and may be cared for by separate professions, doctors for the body, psychologists, therapists, or religious leaders for the mind and spirit, Chinese medicine sees the Shen as an essential part of the human body. Disorders of the spirit-mind can cause illness in the body and vice versa. For Chinese medicine practitioners, it is important to address both the physical and mental spiritual aspects of disease. The mingling of yin and yang produce the life force or qi. Essence is inherited from parents and acquired via eating food. Shen is spirit, ethereal, limitless, soul, and qi is life force. Life begins when Shen and Jin merge to create qi. What creates qi? Shen and Jin, or yang and yin. Also known as qin-ye, body fluids are the liquids that protect, nourish, and lubricate the body. Jing gives the Shen a body to live in. The Shen takes the inertness of the Jing and gives it animation. Shen is located in the heart or the middle dantian, and the element of Shen is fire. The yin organs that are Shen are the heart, lung, liver, spleen, and kidney. The parts that make up Shen are little Shen, Yi, Tuo, Qi, Hun. Little Shen is consciousness expressed through the heart, presence, sparkle or twinkle in the eyes. What happens when little Shen is weakened? One will have difficulty focusing. What happens when the Shen gets too young or has yin deficiency? Yin deficiency, one will be sleepy or comatose. Too young or young excess will have mania or psychosis. When Shen is in balance, we are a spirit within a body, not a body within a spirit. E is intellect, ability to process ideas, expressed through the spleen in TCM. Healthy E means clarity, ability to process info, digest ideas. Unhealthy E, yin deficiency, will result in foggy or sluggish thinking. Unhealthy Yi or yang excess will have obsessive circular thinking or monkey mind. Tuo is corporeal soul, or soul of the body, the physical aspect of the soul. Po is expressed through the lungs. The senses perceived through Po are the 5 colors, tastes, and smells. When we die, the Po is the part of the Shen that returns to earth because it is the corporeal soul. Healthy Po means robust posture, healthy confidence. When one has yin deficiency, one is sickly with a weakened posture. Yang axis, egotism, materialism, boastfulness. Qi is breath and present. Shen is mind and future. Jing is physical posture and past. The Shen dictates how our life manifests. The Qi controls the body. The Qi is willpower, survival instinct, and sexual drive. Qi is expressed through the kidneys. When Qi is weakened, or when one has yin deficiency, there will be fearfulness and hesitation. When one has yang axis, one would be pushy or bossy, but strong-willed. The element for Shen is fire, Yi, earth, Po, metal, Hun, wood, Qi, water. Hun is imagination, psychic intuition, ethereal. Hun is the part of the spirit that leaves the body upon death and returns to the spirit world. When one is yin deficient, there will be pessimism, poor planning, lack of foresight or vision. A person with healthy Hun is visionary and optimistic. Yang axis means one is ungrounded, with daydreaming, unrealistic, and overly optimistic. Jing or essence is stored in the kidney. Prenatal Jing or pre-heaven Jing is DNA essence inherited from parents or ancestors stored in kidneys. Low quality Jing causes poor health, congenital problems, short life. Post-heaven Jing is essence received from food. Good Jing means vitality, robustness, physical body, good immunity. Jing is a source of blood. Jing is stored in marrow of bones, and marrow is essential to the production of blood. The following can damage the Jing: maternal stress during pregnancy, poor DNA, malnourishment, partying, busy go-go lifestyle, too many miscarriages or pregnancies, excessive exercise, and environmental toxins. Food Qi or Ku Qi is transformed by spleen and stomach. Again, the Qi functions are transforming, transporting, holding organs in place, raising, protective, and warming. What are lifestyle factors that help improve our Jing Qi or true Qi? Good food, good sleep. Jing Qi or true Qi is the final stage of transformation of Qi. Through the action of Zong Qi, Yuan Qi is transformed into Jing Qi. This is the final distillation and refinement of Qi and results in the Qi which flows through the channels. How is blood produced in the body? The basic substance for producing blood is the essence, including the congenital essence and the acquired essence. The essence stored in the kidneys produces marrow, which contributes to making the key elements of blood. The transformation of the essence into blood is a process of Qi transformation. The functions of Wei Qi are regulates pores and skin and warms exterior. Wei Qi is the body's protective shield. It is controlled by the lungs, and this is our protective layer and keeps us from being infected by external pathogenic factors. The substances that flow in blood vessels are qi, blood fluids thin the blood so it can move. Nutritive qi nourishes tissues, organs, and blood nourishes and moistens. The primary source for all vital activity is yuan qi or original qi. The word jin means anything liquid or fluid, and the word ye means fluids of living organisms. So jinya is organic fluids. Jin is thin, watery, externally circulate with wei qi, and this would include tears, saliva, sweat, mucus. Ye is thick, internally circulate the interior with the nutritive or yin qi. This will moisten the brain, spine, bone marrow, joints, and sense organs. Qi thins the blood so it can flow smoothly. Qi commands blood and qi. Blood carries qi, qi commands blood. Blood is source for qi and qi thin blood. Qi carry the qi. To recap, the three treasures are Shen, which is spirit, awareness, mental health, your shininess, and is housed by the heart. Qi is energy, breath, attitude, day to day. While Jing is essence, foundational from birth. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Hector.
Thank you. Done.
It's very quite. It's what I meant is the basics are really what we need to further delve into the interplay of not only the organs but the different meridians, the different points, especially when one point affects more than one meridian, one organ. So now, looking back at the lecture, I can relate how emotions play a huge vital role in affecting, because really it does affect your heart, and once the heart's being affected, it cascades into the different what do you call this, the different treasures, and thereby affecting the organs. So thank you for that lecture. It just makes things more connecting the dots is what I meant to say. So it makes perfect sense why we should always stay in check also with our emotions.
Precisely. Thank you so much, Dr. Ryan. And actually, I love doing the lecture today because it actually gives you the concept of everything that we're doing using I would say, using the eagle eye. So if every practitioner knows this, then it would be very easy and for us to be able to correct whatever imbalances our patient has. And I think everyone is aware that mental health is such an issue nowadays. And if you have been listening to the presentation, we understand that Shen actually represents your mental health. And Shen is housed by the heart. And we all know that the heart will have to depend on the chi, which in turn be uh, will actually also have something to do with whatever gene you have. So um, this is how easy it should get. Okay. We all know that all organs are interconnected. It's just a matter of knowing what is the primary organ that was involved. That's why I feel there is really a need to monitor ourselves, the need for self-empowerment, because almost always early symptoms are undetectable. And the only way that we could say that there could be something wrong with us, although we don't feel anything yet, is mastery of the tongue. And this is our advocacy to actually teach people how to. We all brush your teeth every day, twice, three times a day, sometimes more. And you have a mirror in front of you, and you might want to look at your tongue. Diba? Okay, so and cancer is also on the rise, as usual. And the worst thing that could happen to us is when we have autoimmune disease. And it seems that those who are in the medical community are not are powerless enough to actually tell what's going on. So this is not just a matter of just you know waiting for your time, and I'm very happy because with TCM, thanks to the late Dr. Palanca, who actually instilled in all of her students the importance of self-diagnosis. Okay, diagnosis is really key so that you would know what to expect in the future. Okay, so and I hope everybody loved the music that I'm a frustrated musician. I always believe that the kind of music that you listen to will actually affect the Shen or whatever you have in your head. Okay. All I have to do is look at your playlist. And if I find that the playlist is not exactly, shall we say, healthy, then that explains why you have physical or even mental issues. So I hope this can trigger some questions from the class. I know some of you may not uh, really like the tone of the presentation. Um, Even though it's quite short, I think it already gave you a bird's eye view of our practice. So yeah, there.
I do not see any questions in the chat box. You mentioned about the music because actually Harvard School of Medicine supports that when joyful music helps your heart, when they monitor this, it dilates the blood vessels by 26%. So it's a healthy response, similar to that seen even after exercise. So it's quite impressive.
I remember Dr. Ryan bringing me to a seminar on music therapy, and I'm also aware that as a doctor in nursing practice, you are a most um, sought after music therapist. um, di ba? Like, if you hear music that is bringing you more, positive memories, somehow that helps make you feel better, right? And I believe that crying and all these things, or probably making you get used to quiet music. This can actually help. In fact, there are studies now that music can actually help maintain your blood pressure and help you have a positive mindset. Okay. And also walking. um, I learned from Mom Leticia Aboy that we need to walk 10,000 steps. So I started following her advice. I tried very hard to. So I would usually do it early morning because of the heat. Thank you, Mom Leticia. So Mom Leticia Aboy is with the Philippine Academy of Acupuncture. We would like to acknowledge your presence. And also we would, we were mentioning, I don't know if everyone would agree with me that uh, press needles, Pionex press needles are actually helpful. Can you tell us more about it? Because we have a friend, Dr. Ryan, who is a big fan. Can you tell us more about it? Like, what made you um, fall
Well,
in love with it?
actually, I find it more not oh I find it convenient rather than using the ear seeds. And the reason why I say that is because it really does puncture what they call is the skin. Although I find it more effective when you use it in auricular therapy, and knowing the precision that you need to have with auricular therapy really helps pinpoint those needles. You can leave the needles in. So to me, it's a constant, constant healing, as you would see, or it constantly addresses the organs that are in, that you're trying to tonify or you're trying to sedate. I find because I've seen the difference, and my family particularly likes it because I leave them in the bodies, and just take them out after five showers, 3 to 5 showers. One of the things that I really find to prevent, because it punctures the skin, and knowing our skin, which has already have microbes in it, is to just disinfect the area. And it does the Pionex. I'm not endorsing, any product. I'm just speaking from experience that I favor it because of the adhesiveness and also the level at which it punctures, the skin. So it's like having your acupuncture, the therapy, last for days instead of just the usual, 30, 40 minutes.
Okay, we have a question here from Mom Dolly. She was because you mentioned about 5 showers. I
Uh,
think, as far as I know, you changed it overnight.
I do. I do, but at one point it becomes a little bit expensive. I mean to say 5 showers because you will definitely wet the area, and once the area
Right.
is wet,
Right.
then you might have an infection. 5 showers or 3 days
Mm.
is what I would make sure. Just like any other, just like when you have dextrose or an IV, we change it every 3 days. So any skin puncture, I would recommend at least 72 hours at the most. You leave
Yeah.
it there to prevent infection.
Yeah, thank you for that. I don't actually recommend, like, there are patients who seem uncomfortable with the press needles on their ear.
Yes.
So maybe they need to be sedated, because I believe that there could be such thing as overstimulation.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, I would use press needles on if you remember the three treasures. Okay,
Yes.
let's face it, when we're not too young anymore, we have to be more focused on how to improve the gene, how to improve your kidneys and your liver, diba? And we all know that the kidneys and the liver, they work together. So I would rather use the press needles on the conception midline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm sure everybody's familiar with REN 4, REN 6, and also REN 5. Yeah. And
Which you can address in the ear.
yes. Yeah, for the ear, and I know that I'm sure you're aware about REN 1 and DO 1. I definitely cannot imagine, I don't know, maybe Paris needles will make it easy, but I would rather do the ear because we have a point in the ear that corresponds to REN 1 and DO 1, and this is something that everybody should be very aware of, no? Okay, and we all know that from the lecture today that it's just a matter of balancing the kidneys, and we all know that the chi, the spleen, and stomach have a lot to do with it, and also the heart. And heart and kidneys, they communicate. That's why we look at our tongue. In fact, when I was doing my morning routine, I came across a 60-ish, maybe he was a little older, but he was a bit frail. And he was naked from the waist up. And I noticed that he was talking to himself. I would have wanted to approach him and look at his tongue because I know that if you have yin deficiency that has evolved to empty heat, this will lead to far later on. And this is the reason why some, especially now that it's so mainit and oh, can you just imagine? No? So perhaps we can do something about it. Okay, so maybe if I see him again next time, I would probably make friends with him. And he was talking to himself. And we all know that that's very phlegm misting the mind. And we all know how phlegm came about. Diba? So, parang walang questions.
I forgot to make mention, Dr. Hector, that our patient is our priority and their comfort.
Yeah.
So if the press needles do hurt them,
Mm-mm.
especially, I mean, I find it does hurt when you lay on one side with the press needle in the ear. But then again, when you fall asleep, you wouldn't know that it's or sometimes there's a tendency that people that your patient might have an aversion to
Yeah.
the needles in the ear.
Are you?
So I would just remind them to leave it there until you actually, if this hurt, then you have them take it out.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah,
Uh,
and just to note,
mm,
if your patient really has internal heat,
yeah.
the press needles will
Yeah.
bleed once you take them out, and it's a common thing that I have because I'm so
Yeah.
much young.
True. Yeah. Talking about press needles, we would like to acknowledge, we're not, no, we're not endorsing anything. The presence of every time I see the name Coro, I would always think of needles. JAJM. Good afternoon, Sir Ariel. Yeah,
Good afternoon po, sir.
good afternoon. Okay, so
Okay.
thank you.
My
Thank you.
question, Lito, how did they get rid of throwaway of the press needle? So ideally, when you deal with any kind of needle from a patient or from I would go ahead and you make sure that you have a secured container, just like what you do with your acupuncture, because the acupuncture needles, the body acupuncture needles, and the reason why I say it's just for safety purposes. If they do not have, I would have them insert it in a um, because it's just little. I'm gonna make sure that they wrap it well on a what do you call this, a like tissue paper, or
Mhm,
just make sure it doesn't hurt anyone that would take care of the trash.
mhm.
Yeah, that's just important. Uh,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, I think that I answered your question how to get rid or throw away of the press needles and what to say to the patients,
yeah.
just to make sure that it doesn't puncture what you cover the needles with. Because
Mm,
ideally, we do have for the body acupuncture, we have those not corrugated, but the thick plastic will work.
mm.
When it doesn't, once it's sealed, it doesn't really puncture the whole. Please do not use the water bottles. The water bottles will can puncture, and then sometimes if we do have a recycling area, it would be more of a hassle for them and more of a health threat to them.
Does everybody know that Dr. Ryan used to be a patient? The patient who asks a lot of questions. In fact, every time I answer his question, I would double check if I gave the right answer because Dr. Ryan would always, being a researcher, oh my God, and a doctor in nursing practice, it's my first time to hear that. I actually wanted to believe that he knows uh, uh, what a lot of MDs do because they're like, diba? He stayed in Texas for more than 30 years and decided to spend his he
Retirement here.
retired quite young.
Well, the only reason is that my method of learning is that if I don't ask questions and leave the questions to myself, I would be left with more questions. Because
Yeah,
once to me, if you understand the topic, then you commit it to memory. Once understanding is there, and
yes.
it allows you to appreciate the skills that you have.
Mm.
Um, I mean, it's just me. I am a person that questions a lot because I want to know. And I think everybody should not be shy in asking questions because
Precisely.
um, you're not here. by chance. You're not joining this webinar by chance. You're here not also by choice. You were destined to be here to
Mm.
learn from those that you would like to know
Yeah.
more from, you know, if you allow them. So this is a good time for if you have any questions. And then also you can reach us anytime. I am not a practitioner yet, but you know, I
He knows a
like to
lot
share
of
what I
things.
know. What I would like to share what I know, because when you share that, it just simply blossoms the knowledge, and
Yeah.
it imparts it. My grandmother tells me what's in between my ears will die with me unless you share it. Para bang magdidilig ng halaman.
Yeah.
If you don't water and nurture it, it will not grow. So I'm at your service.
Well, that's quite
I
expected from
I have
someone who gives doctoral and masteral classes on the web.
I have a question for Dr.
Oh,
Hector.
Oh, yes,
yes,
please.
please.
Um, when you said about the Jing, uh, God, I hope I got it right, that you get from your parents.
Yes.
Um,
Mm.
okay, and then you said that it's like their health will affect your health as a, as an individual. So
Mhm.
does does that mean it's like if your parents weren't healthy, and you said something about chronic diseases, you're more prone to chronic diseases? Can you
Mm.
elaborate a little bit more on that one,
Yeah, I
please?
love that question. I was waiting for somebody to ask that. So let's go back to basics. Okay, si Mom is talking about the essence or gene. Okay, so actually there are two types of essence. Okay, we have the congenital essence. They call it the prenatal essence, which you inherited from your parents, the DNA. And we have the so-called postnatal essence or the acquired gene, which is actually the food that you've been eating after you were born. Okay, now that's a good one. uh, it's not a death sentence when you inherited something negative. I mean, you inherited the bad genes from your parents. It all depends on how you spend, on how you were brought up, how you were raised, and how so this means that the acquired chi, the acquired essence, acquired gene can actually still make up with what is not good. Okay. But the problem with most people now is that lifestyle is not as good. We love to work until we drop the drop dead. So it's more of like you have nothing more to add on. It's like, think of the essence as a bank account. Okay. So we have the so-called uh, current account and the savings account. So
Mhm.
you need to replenish your bank account every time. But if you have a very unhealthy lifestyle and you were lucky or unlucky to have inherited the bad DNA, then you know what to expect. Okay. Now, talking about chronic well, it's true that we inherit some of these genes, but if you were able to do something about uh, observing good proper light, good diet, good sleep. I think I mentioned that earlier, and trying to avoid those red flags like partying all the time. Um, what else? Having multiple pregnancies, multiple miscarriages, exposure to environmental pollution. So then that's going to give us a problem. Okay. So those who have inherited the bad DNA from their parents um, will not exactly carry the death sentence with them all the time.
Mhm.
It all depends uh, on how early you were able to uh, be taught on how to take care of yourself. Does that make sense? because that's what we call the Jing. The moment you start withdrawing from your account, okay, until your savings means it's you don't have to withdraw it. But it seems that a lot of people now, especially if you are so emotional, you're so like affected easily by stress, having a very negative mindset. This will affect your liver. And the liver blood and the kidney yin, they have a mutual relationship. If you have like liver blood deficiency, then kidney yin will have to give the yin in the same way that the liver blood will have to nourish the kidney yin. So what happens when the kidney yin gets depleted? Okay. So this is where you start withdrawing from your lifetime savings, the kidney essence. And the kidney is supposed to store the essence. So the essence actually consists of the DNA, your inheritance, and the things that or the food that you have eaten, the mindset. That's why uh, we are very lucky to have people like you. I'm sure you like Mom Marsha. How's Australia? Yun. And can you imagine if you have unhealthy lifestyle, no? The food, let's face it, we love phlegm-forming food. Okay, wag na tayo makipagplastikan pa, no? Um, we love to cook, we love good food. So it somehow affects your spleen, right? And the spleen chi weakens when you have that kind of diet. Plus the fact that we spend so much time on social media, all this, the things. So, and the spleen and okay, we're talking about spleen chi and heart blood. Okay. So when the spleen chi is deficient, heart blood becomes deficient. And so you will have a hard time getting sleep. I have known someone who would take like 2 to 3 hours before he gets to sleep. And so what does that make you? Heart blood deficiency that will not um, uh, attract more Shen. The Shen is now restless because the Shen needs a yin, needs blood, heart blood or heart yin. Does that make sense? That's why we need to look at ourselves, look at our tongue, feel your pulses. If the pulses are so irregular, most likely that is some heart issue. You have to go see a cardiologist ASAP, okay?
Mhm.
Or maybe do the executive panel if you can still, if you could afford it. Because look at the people now. They're spending a lot of money on dialysis, okay? And diba? So when you are on dialysis, the red blood cell count is too low, the hemoglobin count is too
Mhm.
low, okay? Creatinine is so high. That's kidney, diba? Hmm. So even the kind of music that you listen to, I've especially when you go with Dr. Ryan, no? He has been to. If you would love to go to places where you can eat and relax. He knows all, no? That's why
Only in Dumaguete.
all into Maget. And I think it's pretty obvious that he loves that kind of life, no? So uh it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It's just a matter of maybe when you eat, you have to listen to some classical music. I've seen some restaurants with loud music. If I was reading up, I would really ask the, to turn that music down. Okay, yeah, okay,
Ano
so
din po,
yeah,
go ahead po.
so doon.
Kasi, yeah, I've also read Mamarsha in one of the genetics issues that when they, as early as 5 years old, they do genetic mapping on kids. So your genes will reveal, what are you more prone to, especially if your parents have heart disease or it runs in the family. That's why we always ask, as practitioners, has anyone in your family died of heart disease or had a heart attack or had a stroke at age of 40 or 45? Because that puts you at what we call at risk. It doesn't mean that it will occur, but you have a chance,
Mm.
more chances of happening
True.
with you as in supposed to somebody that doesn't. And the reason why I say is because we have what we call endogenous factors, which is your genetic from within, and then exogenous factors, which is the environment. Then if you have exogenous endogenous factors such as you're more prone to diabetes because your family has had that, then it just requires a certain trigger for
Mm.
you, like having excess body weight, loving so much, not controlling the things that you can control, such as food and all that stuff. Then you're more prone to developing diabetes or developing heart disease somewhere down the line. So right now, as far as I know, in one of my articles that I've read, is that when they do genetic mapping, they go ahead and just, modify the kids' diet to where they should be started and introduced to vegetables in early part of life, in
Mm.
life. Because if
Yeah,
we do, yeah,
I did come across an article that said that you might be born with certain genetical
Mm.
map or something like that, but
yes,
if you've got a good lifestyle, like what Dr. Hector was saying,
mhm,
um, makes it so that the genes actually don't need to express themselves.
yes, yes.
Is that right?
It's called what is called an external trigger. You may have the
Okay.
genes, but if it's not triggered by maintaining your weight, doing lifestyle changes, looking at the things that will actually help you prevent, then chances are it's just you being at risk more than the other person. So I hope I've contributed to that. There's also one question, just a follow-up question from Dali. She asked if
The needle.
the needles. So I went
Oh,
and said that with the needles, all I know in my limited knowledge is
you
that
only
it only
order
comes
one size,
one
the
size of
one.
breast needles,
There
and
are
I really
actually
hardly
four.
recommend it for kids. And the reason why I say that, because they move a lot, they sweat a lot, and the tendency is the adhesive becomes will loosen up, and then if it does come off, it might end up injuring other areas. So if they know, my rule of thumb, if they know how to take care of a band-aid or a
Yeah.
wound, I would recommend the press. And
Actually, there
also the
are.
structure.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the structure of the ear when it comes to kids are a lot smaller.
Uh,
So I would just probably do massage on the ear,
yeah.
or
Yes. Or the probe. The probe actually helps.
yes,
Yeah. Or you can use the seeds. No.
ear seeds, yes,
Yeah.
outdoors.
Can we ask no, Sir Ariel Coro, no? JAJM. Di ba there are three or four? Ang alam ko merong green, mayroong
Yes po, doctor. There are many kinds of sizes of
Oh, okay.
violets. Yes. Usually we sell only three.
mm,
That is the longest. 1.5.
Oh, okay.
the pink one.
Yes, the pink one.
Oo.
There are other colored green, blue, but they are very short. It's like a not visible in the eyes. So if you put in the ears, sometimes you cannot feel it. So I think it's better for the children. But most our customers, they don't buy very short. They want the standard one, 1.5 centimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Okay.
it true that Dr. Ryan would buy like how many
Boxes.
ano? Parang boxes?
I buy
Grabe.
boxes at a time.
Galit sa pera. You know that he only uses those needles for his family. Kaya tad-tad ng needle. Okay, so yun.
Yes po.
Thank you,
Um,
po.
I find it very useful on patients with, sore throat. So of
Mm-hmm.
course we would look at the tongue and 'di ba, kidney 6, REN 22, and the next day okay na. Ewan ko lang kung psychological, but I think it helps, no? But sorry, but I don't use it too much on the ear. I think the press needles were actually designed for body. You just have to avoid using it, especially lang nine. Kasi di ba,
Mhm.
like these are areas that are, that move a lot. So, yun. Thank you very much, Sir Ariel. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Gavino. Oh, so next time daw iPhone 16 na. iPhone. Good evening po, Dr. Gavino. And of
Ganda kayo po.
good evening po.
Belated happy birthday po.
Belated.
Uy, salamat.
Ay, okay. Celebrate tayo pagpunta natin dyan.
Opo, opo.
Sige po, maraming salamat. Okay, wala na po bang tanong?
Wala na. I haven't seen any other questions sa ano, and I
Okay,
hope
so
we were
ganito
able
na
to
lang.
answer questions. Yeah, wala na po.
Um, would you like kidney patterns for next time?
Yes.
Sorry, pero gagawin na nating short, no? Like, parang I hope the 15 to 20 minutes is okay. What about you, Dr. Ryan? Did you get anything today?
Well, it's a much more more like I would
Yes.
say it supports what we know, and it's
Uh,
always nice to go back to the basics because
yes.
even though we've learned in the past, but hearing it again just simply solidifies what you believe or what you have learned.
Yeah.
And I think these three treasures are the very essence of why we
Mm.
practice is because we want to maintain
Oo.
that that balance that we
Yeah.
have. So thank you for that, Dr. Hector.
Thank you. Actually, I was toying with the idea of doing a para mas maraming participation, no? The five element, the pathological cycles,
Yeah.
what's this, the over controlling and the insulting cycle, or the Wu cycle. Because if you really don't know what to do with the patient, then you have to do five element acupuncture. Would you like that, Mom Janine? I think it was Mom Janine who asked, like, para to give us like, ano, siguro
Yes,
we'll concentrate, yes.
Yes
absolutely.
po.
Oo, 'di ba? Kasi if we do this during the actual ano, medyo parang boring. But I hope many will ask, no? Siguro ano muna natin yung kidney patterns kasi masyado siyang spoon feeding. But anyway, ang maganda kasi with the five elements. And somehow this can hone your skills in actually determining kung ano ba yung problema ng pasyente. For
Mhm.
example, if kasi you should know ano yung red flag. No? Example, you have a tall, slender person, very wood, an achiever, a person who gets things done, type A personality. Di ba mabilis siya lumakad? The moment they start walking slowly, that
Mhm.
is already a red flag. No? And you should really at saka yung iba na parang from slim naging bilugan, then that's something that we need to really probably address. Would you like that, Ma'am Janine? Are you excited?
Yes, Doc, very much.
Because if you have somebody like Dr. Ryan who would double check everything, oh my God, you will always be on your toes. No,
In the spirit of learning, I do check because I want to learn.
yes,
Yeah.
and I don't know how he does it. No, he knows how to read fast, no? Ilang manuscripts yung binabasa mo?
Hindi, I don't read fast. I just understand more.
Oh my
No,
God.
I just grade 19 manuscripts every
You
2 months.
probably read 6 to 10 lines at a time in scan.
No, meron ng AI nakikitulong yung grammar
Okay,
eh.
okay. So ano gano'n?
Kaya
Sige,
nga kaya nga nag-liver young na eh, mag-floaters na.
okay. So let's talk about the pathological cycles of five elements
Yes,
next time. Maybe 2 weeks
perfect.
from now, no? Para mapahinga naman tayong kakasawa. Wala na po talagang questions. I hope you
Wala
like
na.
kind
I
of
haven't seen anything.
interaction, although wala masyadong nag-interact. Thank you, Ma'am Marcia, for your question. I love that. Mayroon lang ako i-add, Ma'am Marcia. Are you still there?
Yep.
You know what's the biggest concern now? Like, di ba the mom would always inherit the culinary skills from the grandmother, no? From your, diba? So whatever food na alam niyang lutuin, this will be handed down. And then eat the same kind of food, especially if you have the best tumba in the world, or probably your, yung mga ganon. Oo. So, with heart or yung mga tataas yung cholesterol, medyo madali lang. But in the case of my mom who had lung cancer, that's why in-explore ko, no? She doesn't even smoke. So sabi ko, what could have, nobody in the house smokes. They're only like, because most of my siblings are out of the pero like there were only three of us, no? So sabi ko, paano nangyari yon? Then I started looking around. I look at the yung tower cell, ano ba tawag yan? Cell tower, no? So I started asking, and do you know what? Months after my mom died of lung cancer at the age of 74, yung mga friends niya, mga friendship niya, nag-lung cancer din, yung iba breast cancer. That's why I had to, ako na lang naiwan. So that's why, that explains why I had to move. Kaya focus na focus ako. And I remember when I was there, talagang I look old. And I remember, mahilig din sa mga, yung mga sugba-sugba. Ano pa tawag dyan? Yung grilled food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would usually drive her to the wet market every Sunday, and we would buy this big fish. And of course, no, yung mga ganon. What else? I remember yung ano niya, yung lutuan, and I still remember the itlog is so perfectly round. I don't know why. Sabi, paano? Pas gusto ko kasi yung, this upside down egg. Gusto ko kasi yung sira, no? Yung kanya talagang bilog. Sabi ko, and her CR, no? Her is masyadong malinis. In fact, if you go to her restroom, mahihilo ka sa amoy. So there are so many factors that could have, made may her soul rest in peace. But I know she's watching over me. So yun, yung mga ganon. So I think environmental toxins has really a lot to do, no? So even if you do not, of course, we have the genes. That's the reason why she was easy to get it. Diba? No? Because if you expose two different people to the same toxin, hindi pareho ang reaction. So most likely, meron na talagang bad gene. I hope this is an eye-opener. And I know Ma'am Marsha loved to cook, and it's so good that you are using mindful, ano tawag dito? There's a term for that Mindfulness ba yan? The mindful eating. I've seen how you do Qigong. Kaya nakakaingit, no?
That's why I'm interested in the upcoming 5 element, because that will help deepen my understanding of the 5 element, because
Oh,
there's a
yes.
Qigong set for the 5
Okay. So let's do 5 elements then.
in 2 weeks.
Sige, let's do it. I'm sure magiging happy si Ma'am Janine. Oh, actually, the 5-element acupuncture was popularized by Worsley. Yeah. And I have some materials for that. And first, you need to understand bakit nagkaganon. So I'll be very excited to do that 2 Saturdays from now. So with that, wala nang questions.
Wala, I haven't seen any questions.
Okay. We would like to thank everyone for joining, and I hope hindi kayo magsawa. Thank you, Dr. Ryan, for moderating.
My pleasure. And everyone, please be mindful about the heat.
Yeah.
And also hydrate yourself. Before we can take care of others, we have to take care of ourselves first. So don't forget to hydrate. Yun lang po. I hope everyone has a good weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye
you,
po.
Doc.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye.
po.
Ingat kayong lahat.